There's been studies done on this subject where scientists got two groups of men performing different exercises. Group A had to focus on working their muscles carefully, and Group B just had to move weight. After a few weeks, it was discovered that Group A experienced more muscle fiber activation and much more muscle growth, whereas Group B didn't even gain half of the gains that Group A got. Before we get into this video, we need to actually define what mind-muscle connection is and how it will benefit us in the long run. Mind-muscle connection can be defined as the amount of tension and or burn that you feel in your targeted muscle groups during the exercise, with your nervous system communicating to your muscles, telling it to work harder. Now, what do we mean with the amount of tension? Let's say, for example, you guys are doing an incline bench press to hit your upper chest, and you're not feeling it there at your chest at all, and instead you're just feeling it in your shoulders and your triceps. That's a sign you're not doing the exercise properly. But if you do the exercise right, you will feel the tension inside of your chest. And how do we know if we're making gains from that tension? It's actually pretty simple. This is where the burn comes in, the second part of the mind-muscle connection. So spinning back to the incline bench press, if you're feeling a much more tingling and much more burning pain in your chest than in your triceps or your shoulders, then you know for a fact you're doing the exercise properly, and it is mainly targeting your chest and not supposed to be mainly targeting your triceps or your shoulders. These two are really good signs that your targeted muscle is definitely doing the work properly. Another example, let's say with the quads. When you're really focusing on the squat, you're gonna really feel tension inside of your quads, and when you're done, you'll get a burn at the end. These two feelings can make you certain that you have absolutely hit the muscle group you intended to work properly. This is all mind-muscle connection, which is much more easier said than done, honestly. We actually use mind-muscle connection all the time. For example, like when we go and walk. But during exercise, some or even most of your muscle fibers can be turned off, making it harder for you to feel the work and tension inside of your muscles, which can potentially be leaving gains on the table. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys 5 different tips and strategies for you guys to enhance your mind-muscle connection during exercise so that you guys can be making as much gains as possible. And stay tuned, because there might be some tips you guys might not be expecting. Now for tip number 1, what we're gonna focus on is warming up our muscles. So if you have poor mind-muscle connection, you can very likely not feel your muscles working properly, and because you can't feel your muscles working properly, you can't even squeeze and contract your muscles. So what we need to do to fix this is warm up properly. So for example, let's say you have chin-ups in your routine, right? But you can't really feel your biceps working during your chin-ups. So what you may do is probably just do some bicep curls with, for example, a 10-pound weight, something very light, and just focus on controlling and contracting the weight down. Once you do that, you should then feel your biceps working on your chin-ups much more properly. It's also important that these are warm-up exercises. So you're supposed to do them with little to no weight, and don't try to fatigue out on them. Short controlled isolation muscle movements are definitely the best at warming up those muscle groups that you just cannot feel. Now, while I do recommend isolation movements for warming up, you can also do compound movements for movements such as the squat, the deadlift, the overhead press. Just use little to no weight and make sure you're feeling the muscle groups that you're supposed to be targeting. Tip number 2, after doing your warm-up sets, now you can go on to your main sets. But do me a favor, lighten the weights that you're about to use for your main set. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably screaming already inside of your heads, like, oh my goodness, I gotta use lighter weights? Well, yes. You see, the thing is that most of you guys who struggle with feeling your muscles working just keep on trying to focus on the weight you're moving instead of trying to feel your muscles working. You need to start using lighter weight that you can actually handle instead of weight that you're just trying to just move up and down in a range of motion. While you might not be setting new PRs with this advice, what you will be setting yourself up to is much more muscle growth, because if you use lighter weights you can actually handle, you can actually focus on having your muscles work, and that is exactly what we want. So in short, do not ego lift. It's simple as that. Now, following up with tip number 2, tip number 3 is slow down. When you slow down, you have much more time and mind space to actually focus on letting your muscles work. This is exactly what we want for muscle growth. When you're just throwing around dumbbells, your muscles aren't working as optimally as they should, whereas slowing down makes your muscles work harder to actually control the weight. Now, this doesn't mean to slow down as much as a turtle, okay? But especially on the descending part of most exercises, you should be slowing down, okay? It's having about a 2 to 3 second second descent back to your original spot. Not as slow as a turtle, but just to the point to where you can feel your muscles working. Tip number 4, imagine your muscles doing contraction and eccentric movements. This is what great bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger preached, to focus on the muscle moving and imagine it moving. Imagine an actual picture of your target muscle moving while you're moving the weight. This will ensure great development of mind-muscle connection. And for the last tip, tip number 5, that is to be patient. I get it. You want to be strong. You want to feel strong. Kind of like Goku or Deku or Ichigo, you know, one of those anime characters. And sometimes you just want to throw around weights. Honestly, I'd admit it myself too. It's pretty fun too, but you got to be patient. If you get comfortable with slowly moving the weight and focusing every single brain cell on that target muscle, you will ensure great mind-muscle connection. And this requires patience. Remember, patience is key, and this goes in every single aspect of life. With patience and consistency, you will ensure great muscle growth. Combining all of these tips together will ensure that you have great mind-muscle connection, which can lead to even greater muscle growth. And you'll be even stronger overall, which I'm sure every guy wants. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want more content like this, subscribe to the channel. If you guys need more personal help with your fitness journey, click on the link in the description below to book a free one-to-one consultation call with me, Amarian. This is Amarian here, signing out. Have a good one. Peace.